Genesis, the most contradictory book in the Bible. Let's start with the basics. Genesis is not a creation story, it's a control script. The more you read it with your eyes open, the more it collapses under its own lies. Let's unpack it. 1. Let there be light. But who heard it? God speaks into darkness. But who's there to hear it? There's no sound, no air, no witnesses, and no language. How do you quote a being before sound, paper, or humans even existed? That's not divine record. That's pure mythology. 2. God named himself, using an English title. The word God didn't even exist when this story supposedly happened. It came from Old English around 1,500 years ago, yet we're told the creator called himself God, a universal creator using a colonial title before English existed. That's a red flag. Either the God is illiterate, or the author is. 3. Let us make man in our image. Us who? God speaks in plural, but Christians say he's one. So who's the us? Angels? Other gods? Himself with a speech disorder? That's not monotheism. That's a confused pantheon setup. 4. God created the universe, but needed rest. Genesis 2:2 says God rested on the seventh day. But how does an all-powerful, unlimited being get tired? That's not a God. That's a man pretending to be one. 5. The snake spoke to Eve, but God didn't know. The snake talks, Eve eats, Adam follows. And God is like, where are you? So we have a talking animal, an all-knowing God that doesn't know, and no witnesses to this legendary moment. Who was there to take notes? How do we know what the snake said? This isn't divine revelation. It's a campfire story. 6. Adam and Eve have European names, the first two humans, and they're named Adam and Eve. Eve is not an African or Middle Eastern name. Adam was filtered through Hebrew, Greek, Latin, then English. So now the first people ever have names from a language not even invented yet. That's not divine. It's lazy translation. 7. The Garden of Eden and the whitewashed origin of humanity. Now, here's the part they don't want to talk about. In the Garden of Eden, the Bible makes it seem like God created two white people who went on to populate the earth. Let's get real. Two white people can't produce the global range of skin tones, hair textures, and melanin variations. But two black people can produce all shades, from light to dark. So if your creation story starts with a white Adam and Eve, either your God doesn't understand genetics, or your author didn't, and we both know who wrote the book. 8. Adam named every animal. But in what language? Genesis says Adam named every creature. But how? Language didn't exist yet. English didn't exist. Neither did Latin or Greek. Yet today's animals have European names. So what language did he use? None of this holds up. 9. Only Christianity and Islam tell this story. This isn't a universal truth. It's a colonial narrative. No Kemet, no Yoruba, no Dogon, no Native American spiritual systems. Only the Bible and its stepbrother, the Quran, push this tale. The same two religions used to enslave, colonize, and rewrite African identity. 10. Keep this in mind. Literacy was rare. When these stories were created, most people couldn't read or write. Literacy was reserved for the elite. Latin was for the powerful. The poor and enslaved couldn't fact-check. There was no printing press, no public libraries, just blind obedience. They never expected people in 2025 to still be quoting these stories like they're fact. But here we are. Final truth. Genesis doesn't describe the beginning of life. It describes the beginning of mental control. It's not spiritual history. It's spiritual colonization. Awakening. Truth. If your creation story starts with two white people in a mythical garden naming animals, in a language that didn't exist. Your God is fiction, and your belief is programming.